Welcome back to Lazy History Club, where the fireside's warm, the tea is steeped, and history is deeply weird. Now, we've seen kings go mad, popes put corpses on trial, and protests launched over moustaches. But today's story takes the cake. Or rather, it squats in the mud next to it. It's about the time a tiny French village, fed up with petty politics, corruption and incompetence, decided that the only honest candidate left was a toad. Yes, a literal, warty, bug-eating, pond-dwelling toad. And it won the election. By a landslide. So grab your cup, settle in, and let's leap into the ridiculous tale of Mayor Toad, a creature who, for a brief and glorious time, was the most respected civil servant in all of France. The year was sometime in the 1820s, and our setting is a sleepy village nestled in the French countryside where nothing much happened. Until it did. The mayor had just died. No big fanfare, just quietly croaked, as mayors sometimes do. What followed was not so quiet. With the position now vacant, two rival factions, the old farming families and the new merchant class, began squabbling like goats in a wine cellar. Each side proposed a candidate. Each accused the other of corruption, bribery, and, worst of all, bad bread recipes. Election after election was held, and each ended in a tie, a riot, or someone dramatically storming out of a town meeting while yelling about goats. After months of infighting, voter turnout dropped to nearly zero. Locals were sick of it. Children made fun of it. The town dog started peeing exclusively on campaign posters. The stage was set for chaos, or brilliance. One afternoon, as the latest argument over who would chair the road repair committee boiled over into a shouting match, a farmer named Marcel had had enough. He reportedly leaned on the tavern bar, downed a mug of beer, and muttered, "I'd sooner vote for a toad than any of them." Now in most towns this would have ended as a joke, but not here. Someone laughed. Then someone else said, "Actually, I've seen a nice fat one near the well." Within hours, a ceremonial toad was found, placed in a basket, and paraded around town like a visiting dignitary. By evening, the tavern crowd, in a fit of equal parts protest, sarcasm, and wine, filled out a fake ballot. Toad for mayor. The next morning, the paper was posted on the town hall door, and to everyone's surprise, nobody tore it down. Once the initial snickering died down, something strange began to happen. Support grew. It wasn't about the toad, really. It was about everyone else being worse. Pamphlets were printed. Vote for honesty. Vote for Toad. Slogans appeared in chalk. No croaks. No corruption. On the official election day, when the only two human candidates stood sneering at each other, the townspeople showed up in droves and wrote in Toad, and the toad won by an overwhelming margin. One candidate cried fraud, the other cried actual tears. The toad, who was reportedly asleep under a cabbage leaf, was declared mayor by protest vote. What followed was either the greatest political performance art of the century, or just a town collectively trolling the system with gusto. A tiny robe was sewn for the toad. A thimble was placed on its head like a crown. Town council meetings featured an empty chair, with a cushion and a jar of flies beside it. Locals brought their complaints to the mayor's pond-side office, which consisted of a bucket and a sign reading, "Do not disturb. Mayor is in deep reflection." Ironically, things began running smoother. Without anyone trying to manipulate the mayor, committees cooperated. With no political speeches, decisions were made faster. Mayor Toad, as the villagers dubbed him, became a symbol of honesty, simplicity, and just enough mucus to keep things interesting. Children sang songs about him. Couples got married next to his favourite rock. The blacksmith built a miniature podium for ceremonial burps. Of course, this couldn't go unnoticed forever. When a regional prefect heard that a village had elected an amphibian, he reportedly responded, "Again?" An investigation followed. The prefect sent a letter demanding the town elect a human, calling the toad not legally qualified under Article 12b. The villagers protested, saying he was less corrupt than anyone else they'd ever voted for, and also cut city expenses to zero. But bureaucracy doesn't like being mocked. Eventually, an official from Paris was sent to gently restore order, and Mayor Toad was deposed. But the story doesn't end there. The next mayor, a real human, kept a bronze statue of the toad on his desk. He claimed every decision he made went through the spirit of Mayor Toad first, and he wasn't the only one. In nearby towns, toad tickets became a thing. Protest votes where people would scribble frogs, turtles or salamanders on their ballots to show disgust with all other choices. So what's the moral of this tale? Maybe it's that democracy only works if people believe in the people running it. Maybe it's that even the most stubborn community can unite under the right amphibian. Or maybe it's that history is full of toads. Some of them just wear nicer suits. From everyone here at Lazy History Club, and definitely from Mayor Toad, wherever he may be, remember, if you don't like your choices, make a new one, even if it's warty.